Fortunately, we don't reason like that. Anybody thinking that Igbo presidency 2023 will stop us? What we want is Biafra, and what we're going to get is Biafra.
Declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
No. What should I do? It's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm, and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people, not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory.
It's my pleasure to have you on this day, the 5th day of November 2022. Today is Saturday. I want to welcome you all to this live broadcast. I want to appreciate you for your time, for your energy, for giving your all, for believing in the cause of Biafra, for doing everything that you have to do for your motherland and for the freedom of God's people. I want to really say from my heart, I appreciate you and I love you. And I say welcome to this live broadcast today. And this is Biafra Global Network. And on Biafra Global Network is the program NUGGET Conference. And of course, in the NUGGET Conference, we actually have various activities, sessions that, various sessions and activities that would always come every Saturday. This is the first edition of the NUGGET Conference in this regard, where we're going to be interviewing veterans of war and veterans of other, aspects of Biafra life, especially veterans of war, of the war against Biafra, 1967, the genocidal war, and other things that have actually affected Biafrans. And these people who were actually there and who experienced these things and who could tell their life stories and actually tell us the things that they're experiencing. By God's grace, we're going to be having a guest for next week, Saturday, in that regard, who is going to be here. And then we're going to be discussing strongly on this. Also, on NUGGET Conference, we'll be looking at the issues that happen during the week, the activities of the week, especially the most important things or the major headlines of the week, because everything is important anyways. There's nothing that happened during the week that's not important. So because they all, have a way of, affecting everything we do. Thank you so much, Evermat. You're the first to send a message today. Good evening, my dear brother, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you, Evermat. I think I saw you yesterday in the joint broadcast too. I think you were there also. I can't remember. You're welcome, you're welcome, especially. And I say that to everyone also who is viewing from your location, wherever you are. I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for joining this live broadcast. And I want to say that it is my utmost pleasure to have you here today. And of course, today we're going to be having a session together. We're going to be discussing on lots of issues. We're going to interact. We're going to look at facts and issues that bother you, or the things that you think that you want to talk about, or you want to let Biafrans know, the things that you think you have in mind, the advice you have in mind, the details that you think you have that you want Biafrans to know, and the stories and the news around your corner that you want Biafrans to know about. Everything that is in your mind, you can, or questions, whatever question you have to ask, and we're going to produce answers. And of course, you can now have also the audience also produce answers in respect of whatever you want to ask. I want to welcome you again once more to NUGGET Conference on Biafra Global Network. And before we go on, we're going to be actually we're going to be actually looking at the news today that are happening all over the place. And I want to say that before we go into critical discussion, because I want us to interact, we're going to interact. I want you to understand that the enemies of Biafra are actually doing lots of things. They're doing so much to make sure that they try to bring us down. But before we go on in this, we're going to have the news. So I'm going to give you the headlines news of what is happening today, and the headline news all over the world. The major headline news today, you're going to get them right now in 1 minute. Yeah, before I talk about the headline news, let me also appreciate most of you who have joined right now. Owa Junior, Kelechi, I love you so much. Keep it up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll keep it up, and I promise it's going to be something I'm going to do continuously. Edith Nedu, welcome to. There's another Edith we have here also. I can't remember the surname now. We also have another. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. God bless you, sir. We love you. All hail Biafra. Thank you so much, Edith, and I love you guys too. I love you all, and I appreciate you guys joining me at all times, and doing these things together. Thank you all, and I love all. Thank you so much. And we're going to look at first the today we have the news that over 16 people have been killed in Iran. They are protesting for the first 7th week now. They have been protesting the killing of a young 21 or 22-year-old girl who was killed by the morality police, who actually was not just putting on hijab, and they said she was not putting on hijab, and that became an offense. And then she was beaten to death. She was beaten and became unconscious, and then she died. And then it became an issue in that country. Today, this is the 7th week of protest. The people are protesting against the death of the lady. It has caused lots of protests, all widespread protests all over, Iran today. And these are the facts that we are looking at, that we are trying to make sure that we don't get ourselves in also in Biafra. That is why, sometimes when we look at this headline news, we try to relate them to our house so that we can actually make meaning out of them. Thank you, Eva Mats. Thank you, Biko Share. She's telling us right now, please share this, like the video, please. Once you come online, please just like the video to give an impression that yes, what we're doing is right and what we're doing is the truth, so that people also can know that it is truth. So just like the video, and as soon as you like the video, you just begin to share on all your social media platforms, and then getting people to be part of it, talking to them directly if you can, and all your social media platforms, including WhatsApp, Telegram, all those places that you have lots of people gathered and converging or converged, where you can interact or broadcast. You can even make a broadcast message on your WhatsApp or on your Telegram or any other platform, on your, any other platform you have that has people in it. You just send this message to them so that they can also be part of the program. And of course, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please, we encourage you to do that. It helps us also to work effectively, because the more you subscribe, the more we can reach more people, the more we can spread the tentacles, and then we'll be able to spread this message strongly. Of course, we'll be looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing that on Voice of Biafra, we can have this, pushing out. And I'm going to be discussing, as I said yesterday, I'm going to be discussing with the authorities and seeing how we can effectively get this to run, because this is important. The messages we pass are very crucial and important to the hearing of our people. And except we have a wider reach, we cannot actually pass the message strongly and get people to be, to be possessed with what we're doing. It is good to be possessed with some stuff, because when you get possessed about positive matters, you become them. You become that thing. You become those positive things, and those positive things begin to rub off on other people. In fact, it becomes a pandemic, because positive people who are possessed with positive mind issues actually possess other people with it, because possession has a way of being contagious, especially when you utilize it in the context of the trueness of possession. When you are possessed about a matter, you go strongly for it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is possessed with the concept of freedom, the mandate of freeing his people. The possession has got to the point where, in spite of the torture for 8 days, he refused to give in. He refused to give up. In that pain, in his shackles, when those chains were in his hands, when he was coming to the court, we saw him 8 days or 9 days or 10 days after he was kidnapped and extraordinarily renditioned. We saw him coming frail. He was looking frail. You can remember that picture. I don't forget that image. He was looking so frail. He couldn't sit upright for himself. He would actually somebody had to stand near him, one of those DSS, zombies. He stood by him and tried to hold him, so in case he falls. He was frail. He was brutalized. He became like a jelly, a leaf. He couldn't stand. But yet, because he was possessed, or he is possessed with the ideology of Biafra, he stood tall and withstood the pains. That is what happens when we're possessed. So please share this video, let people have the message, and let them also become possessed like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as every one of us are getting possessed like him. So that even when we go through pain, we go through high waters, we go through fire, you go through the obstacles, we'll still stand strong for what we believe in. The spirit of Biafra would motivate us and keep us strong, as we always would be. And thank you so much for that, Iwune. I'm sorry, Evermat, for telling the people to share. Iwune, thank you. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Thank you, Iwune. Thank you for joining. I'm delighted to have you. As always, you will always be here, as soon as we come online. And good afternoon, Mazi. Thank you so much, Mrs. Moran Hanks. I thank you for joining. Of course, you're always here. And of course, you're always sharing on all platforms. In fact, as soon as I come on, suddenly I'll begin to see the notification going all around that you're sharing the messages all around. Thank you so much. I love you for that. And I appreciate you. And every one of you who are doing that, also sharing on all social media platforms and all the platforms you have. I love you all, and I appreciate you all for that great work you're doing. Mrs. Moran Hanks is greeting all Biafrans. She says good afternoon to you all. So please take the greeting, and then of course know that she's actually talking to us. And my brother, good evening here. Ikemefuna, thank you so much on Igbo. Okay, Ikemefuna on Igbo. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I always see you here. You're just one of those people who actually would be here, and you will always send a message. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. From your location, I say thank you and good day to you. Chika Mado, thank you, Chika. Ndewo Mazi Kelechi, thank you so much, Chika. This is interaction. You are going to be bringing things, what you have in mind. We're going to be discussing them today, and the things you want us to know, you can relate to us through the comment section, or you can make a call. So it's an interaction day. So I just keep reading messages and looking at what you are doing. Much love from here to right on, bro. Thank you, Kechi. Much love from me too to you. Thank you so much. I love you also for much. This love is many, so much. In fact, it's so much. Let me not say it's many, because if it's many, you can count it. But if it's so much, you can't count it. The love is so much. Thank you so much. I love you as much as you love me. And thank you so much for being part of this. And please, let's keep sharing the messages to our people. More messages are coming in, and I appreciate it. Good afternoon, Mazi Biafra Global. Thank you so much. Chidix Ash. Aham, okay, Aham, Chidex, Child X, Aham, okay, Child X. No, this is Chidi. This should be Chidi. You know, maybe Chidex, Ahams. Thank you so much, Chidix Ahams. Thank you so much for the good afternoon to you too, Mazi Biafra Global. You have made my name is now Mazi Biafra Global. Thank you so much. Anyways, my name is Kelechi Ambrose. I want to tell you, you can call me whatever you want to call me. It's good, it's fine. But I'm just trying to make us understand that my name is Kelechi Ambrose. Also, you can also call me whatever you want to call me, including those saboteurs who want to call me whatever they want. If they want to call me, whatever they want to call me. Maybe they want to call me a thief, a criminal, someone, blah blah. Whatever they want to call me, they should call me as much as you call me, and I know I am on the right path of what I'm doing. And especially when I know that I have not dedicated myself to fraud, to deceit, to anything that is lies. I am contented. I am happy. I'm satisfied with whatever you call me. It's your conscience will tell you whether what you call me is actually what I am. And of course, you know by that. Of course, you know inside of you. I'm struggling with my VPN on the phone, so I can share in the groups that I personally share the broadcast. Oh my! I think you have to go to. Maybe you have to go to. maybe you have to ask, you have to ask Google to actually direct you on what to do, so that you can get that know how to do it, so that next time you'll be able to do it effectively. If you can still ask Google to an extent, you can still do that. If you have another device to actually ask Google, so that you can get information on that. I've not even done the I'm supposed to give the headline news of today. I was talking about Iran, the killings going on there. About 16 people were killed just yesterday because they are protesting against Islamic laws that is killing them. This young lady was killed, and 7 weeks now running, they are still protesting against the killing. That is what we are trying to avoid in Biafra. That is why we are screaming and asking that we want to be free, and that is our concern. We want to be free so that we don't get into this kind of situation where we'll be killed, and all we'll have to do is to come protest, and then we go back, they kill us, and we protest and we go back. In fact, when they take over our land, we will not even have the ability to protest at all. Iman Esther Chijum, greetings. It is difficult to find where you are without dates, and it does not come up automatically. Oh my. Have you subscribed? If you have subscribed, then click the notification button so that you can also receive notification when I come on. Please click the notification button too, so that you can be notified, and then you can even set it as a priority, that you can always have it. And then, of course, you can also like every video that comes, like it. It will naturally give you, that opportunity to actually have access to this thing. It will prompt you. Just try it again and let's see how it works. Then we know what next to do. Azubike Felix, thank you. Mazikalish, good afternoon from here. Good job. You are doing very well. Thank you so much, Azubike Felix, for that, for this compliment. I am delighted to have this from you. We are interacting today. Today is interaction day. We say the things that are going on. We relate to one another. It's just an interaction. Today we don't have a guest, so by next week Saturday we're going to have maybe one of the veterans of war. Those people, one of the people who was in the midst of the war, who experienced the war, or who traveled, or who escaped the war, who escaped death, or whatever. And if you know anybody who is part of that, you are welcome. You just introduce them to me. We want to get them. We want to hear stories from them. We want to be inspired. We want to be inspired from their history side of experience, personal experiences, from the history side of their personal experiences, so that we can actually learn on how we can operate right now and be able to get into the better side of Biafra, because we have 120 days to go. And these 120 days, we still need to learn more and keep learning, so that we can have the right attitude, the right disposition, the right resilience, the right zest, and the right action to actually put into the cause of our freedom and the things we need to do. So you can introduce, if you know any veteran, anybody, anywhere they are, this is a platform for them. Let them come and discuss with us. We ask them critical questions. They give us their experiences, and we use the experiences as a point of wisdom for ourselves, so that we can operate in the dimension of wisdom and get results as we should get results. Thank you so much, Chibike Obina. Hi, brother. Greetings from Istanbul. Oh my God. Yeah. Chibike from Istanbul. Keep doing it. Much love from here. I love you too, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Messages coming in. And of course, we have, from Wairo, Osita. Wairo, Osita. I think this is the second time I'm seeing your message or so. I think I've just seen it once, or maybe I'm just, sorry if I am missing it there. You guys are exceptional on media space. Bravo. Thank you so much, Wairo Osita. Thank you. I think you are from Delta, right? You are Delta. They divided that divider rule thing. They now put you in Delta. All right. Osita is the name. Is that is it? Am I correct? Please make me understand that. If they do, we are moving forward to Biafra. Yes, that is our mission. All we are concerned about is Biafra. All these nonsense distractions and all of these things they are doing today, they come with them. You saw during the week, of course, this is one of the factors we're looking at. During the week, this Abia Ipazo, or whatever it's called, this governor of Abia State came up and started talking messianing. He was messianing, talking about certain security and boosting Ebubago, or whatever they call it, Ebubago, to actually Ebubatoro. Yes, that's the real thing, so that they will go into the borders. Suddenly they are not talking about borders. Now, don't you see how significant we are actually dealing with matters? They have seen how significant we are. Do you know now that they are talking about borders? This is not what they were talking about before. Formerly, they were talking about getting these people to rid of criminals. Now they're talking about the borders, because they know we are securing the borders. Once you secure your border, you are already sovereign. Once you are able to secure your border, you are sovereign, because territorial boundaries determine sovereignty. And when you are able to secure your border, when any kind of force is able to capture your borders, they have captured you. So that's the essence of what we're doing. So thank you so much, Edith Nedu. We move to Biafra. Welcome, my own comrade Kelechi. Thank you, Amoku. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to have you here. I think I saw you yesterday in the joint broadcast too. Thank you so much. In the joint broadcast, we are limited. We don't have enough time to talk, so we just say a little thing and all of that. But here, we have enough time to discuss, to interact, and do what we have to do. Thank you so much. Mwapa Mitchell. Oh, Mwapa Mitchell. Oh, I think I've seen this name before. Also, kudos, my brother. More grace in your brain. Thank you so much. Let the grace continue to be in my brain. I'm telling you, I need it. More grace in my brain. Let the brain continue to be, Okay, Imo State. Okay, Osita. Okay, Osita. Yeah. Okay. I understand. Sorry for, because most times those from Delta also bear that's Osita. I have a friend, and all of that who is Osita, who is from Delta. So thank you so much. Onyeka Chukwueke, thank you. You are here again. Also, greetings, Majesty Collection, and to all in the house. Thank you all for this special greetings to me and to Biafrans. I want to appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. You guys are beloved. And you guys are very, very wonderful. Biafra to the world. Of course, he's here again. Biafra to the world. My brother, I greet you. Thank you so much for being here again. You're always here. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Now we are talking about Iran, the killing of 16 people. This is over 200 and something people have been killed so far because they are protesting against the death of a lady who just, her offense is that she was not putting on hijab or hijab, whatever they call it. Just the offense is that she wasn't putting on hijab. The morality police, the so-called people, just like the people they call them, what do they call them now in the north there? They call them Hezziba or Hezziba, or what do they call those people, please? That's those Sharia police in the north. Please, somebody remind me. I know Hezbollah is a terrorist organization or one of these fighters in the Middle East, what do they call them? These people who have been destroying Biafra businesses in the north in the name of Sharia law and all of that, but they are collecting tax from all of these things that are put. Hizbah, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Azupike Felix. Hizbah police, Isba. Okay, and one rose Osita says is Isba. Okay, I think they always put H to it, Hizbah. Okay, we are having it here. Hizbah police. Now you can imagine that Hizbah police, just like what they did to Deborah and other people they've been killing, and you know the level of, now let me tell you guys the level of subjugation that we're in. Do you know that even the places where they have not yet overrun with their Sharia, the southern part of the zoo. Do you know that even when people are killed based on Sharia in the north side, even the southern part that have not been overrun by Sharia cannot protest? They can't come out to protest. Do you know why they can't come out to protest? They don't have that guts to protest, because if they do, it is going to rub off on them. So if at the context, at this point where this southern part have not even been overrun by Sharia, we find it hard to come to protest, talk more or talk less, or whatever you want to call it, of the time they will overrun us. Do you think you'll be able to protest on any matter? They have not overrun you with Sharia yet. You cannot protest on somebody who is killed in the same contraption you are. Deborah, who is a Christian. Even the church, the Christian body, all these men, all of them, as they are looking mighty and looking strong and decreeing, every day they are prophesying from the altar, I decree, I do all of that. They couldn't come all out to declare a protest against the killing of, look at Deborah. What did Deborah do? Go and look at that message going on the internet, what Deborah said. How does that deserve death by such cruelty? Stoning to death to that extent. Yet the people who call themselves religious leaders in the south could not garner enough resilience or courage to tell the people to come and protest. So is it when they overrun you with Sharia, as they are trying to do now, that you will be able to protest? Is it when they overrun you? Would you have a voice when you can't even have a voice, when the Sharia has not even reached you? So these are the things we're looking at critically. All these people going for election and all that, when they overrun you, can you protest on any matter? Even now that the time you try to protest against SARS, they overrun you, they beat, they kill you, and all of that. I was part of those in that Lekki that time. I was part of them. In my eyes, people were dropping dead, and they are coming to lie to us. The fact that these things happened, now since then, everybody's afraid to protest. Not everybody's afraid to protest. The Sharia has not even come to our land, the South, but yet we are afraid to protest. Not to talk about when they now take over and bring Sharia, and Sharia takes over the land by their conquest. Then you can imagine. You can imagine how daft some of our people are, because our people are not thinking right. Clement Aneto, thank you. Clement Aneto, thank you. We move Biafrans. Yes, we move Esther Chidum, and we are going home to Biafra, our fatherland. That is it. We have to go home. You can imagine that now they have not overrun us. We're afraid to protest. You remember, anytime we say, okay, let's protest, people say, they will kill us, so let's not protest. You cannot protest when Sharia has not come to your land. Is it when they now overrun you and Sharia comes to your land that you will now be able to protest? People should think when you go on the next election, and let's just assume now that one of these candidates become elected. As soon as they become the president, definitely they will push forth their Sharia. They will push it hard and get Sharia to cover the whole of the zoo. At that point in time, tell me how powerful you can be. You will not be able to say anything. You will not be able to. Deborah was killed brutally. Nothing happened. In 2001, more than 400 Southern youth corpers killed in the north, and so-called Southern leaders couldn't utter a word. Yes, I remember this. I remember this story. Yes, I remember. Yes, that over 400 killed in the north. Killed, yet nobody could protest, nothing. Now, can you imagine when Sharia becomes a law in the south? Ask those people who are campaigning for election, who are saying they want election, let's have election. And these people are coming strong. They are killing. They are coming strong. They are doing everything to take over. They are putting their stooges everywhere. Very soon, they will declare Sharia in the south. Tell me what you will do when they declare Sharia in the south. When Sharia has not been declared, you cannot even just protest. What else can you do when Sharia is declared in the south? Ask those foolish people who are talking about election this question. What will you do when Sharia is declared in the south and you cannot do anything when Sharia has not been declared yet? So that is the level of ignorance and the level of stupidity anybody could imbibe, anybody could accept into their lives. Iran is receiving it now because they are, even the truth about it is that they all accept Sharia because they are operating under Sharia. But yet, under that Sharia, they feel still oppressed. Now, you can see the level of burden. You can imagine you now who don't believe in Sharia, a free person, a Republican by nature. Suddenly, Sharia is, adopted. But you can imagine somebody who is in Iran, whose nature is Islamic, whose culture adopts Islam. He is still burdened with the concept of Sharia because one lady was killed because she was not putting hijab. Just that covering. For those people who don't know what hijab is, just that covering you have on your hair, that veil they put. Because she was not putting it on, that was why she was killed. She was brutalized by the morality police. They call them morality police, as they call in the one in here, they call them Hizbah. It's the same as morality police. Hizbah in the zoo is the same as morality police in Iran. They killed this lady, a 21-year-old lady also, because she wasn't putting on that veil. You can imagine now most of you in the south who are talking about a woman have a right to her body, abortion, this, a woman have right to her body, and it's our right, blah, 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 blah. You are there talking nonsense. By the time they bring Sharia to you, you will know you don't have right to your body. Now that you are busy helping them to campaign, helping them to install that their caliphate in the south. Because I have told you people before now that anytime you are campaigning for election, you are promoting the caliphate to be installed in the south. Because election is supposed to be a product of democracy. But what we have in the zoo is not democracy. Because what we have is a selection process where the caliphate have designed a structure that will position their men on all sphere of operation and rulership in the zoo. Most of us used to call them leaders, but I tell you, they're not leaders. They lead in error. So they're not leaders. So that is why we are talking about these things. we don't want election in Biafra land. And no election will hold. In 120 days from now, we are going to be going into our nation. Going into our nation, nothing will stop us. We shall have it, and we shall have it more than ever. Because we know, we have seen ahead of us. We know what is ahead of us when we allow election in Biafra land. We have been doing lots of teachings on that. I don't want to do a teaching. I don't want to do any teaching today. I just want to talk because I'm being tempted to go into the details of what election is and all of that. Now, one of the problems today, one of the news again on, the news making rounds is this. In Kenya, the airline staff have gone on strike. Why? Pay and pension. You see, there's one thing about Africa that you begin to wonder. You look at it, you just look at Africa for now, you discover one particular illness. Do you know now as we speak, the poverty level that people are going through in Africa, not just in the zoo, in Africa, is alarming. People are dying. As we are talking now, we are talking smiling here. You are sending all hail Biafra and all of that. Do you know that majority of our people, as we are talking today, some of them have not eaten since yesterday? I am telling you the truth. Do you know that where I live, where I am, I bought a product, I bought something, I want to buy chicken. Let me just say it. I want to buy chicken. Do you know the amount I bought chicken 2 weeks ago? When I went to buy it last week, it was double the amount. I'm not saying 1.5, double the amount. I screamed. I said, what? Things have gone so bad. And I was asking the person who was selling it, because I was just thinking, I said, what about the people who have 4 children? He's asking me, he said, why would somebody have 4 children? I said, for God's sake, what are you saying? We're in Africa. People have 4 children. In Africa, people have 4 children. People have 6 children. People have 8 children. Now, we Africans, we know all of this. Now, these children were born, even when these children were not just born today. So for you to say that they know things are expensive, they decided to have 4 children or 6 children. These children were not born today. They've been born a long time ago. They've been born a long time ago. And suddenly, this is, they are now, you're not telling them that why should they have 4 children now? They never envisage that things are going to be this bad. Hey, my big bros, tell them, Dorcas, Tony, hey, so you are here. Oh, Dorcas, how are you doing? And how is your base in Abuja? How is Abuja? Oh, you are not in Abuja. How are you doing today? Good to have you in the show. Good to have you in the show. Now, these people didn't know that there's going to be a time like this when things are going to be too expensive for them to take care of the 4 children. Their salaries cannot more take care of the 4 children. They felt that what they have, what they earn, could take care of 4 children. They gave birth to 4 children. Now, I'm talking about those now who actually planned themselves very well. They decide to have 4 children, and they believe that their salaries and everything will take care of the 4 children. Suddenly, everything skyrockets. Now, why did things skyrocket in Africa? That even food is very expensive. Why? Because the way we have been designed, our economy and everything is based on foreign policies. The dollar, or the euro, or the franc, or whatever. Is it not franc they call French money? The euro, the dollar, the pound. These are the things that determine how our economy, the strength of our economies. Because in Africa, we have refused to do the right thing. Because in Africa, we have refused to understand what it means to be independent. We have people who are so evil. In Ghana, for instance, as I told you yesterday, 150% inflation rate. The inflation is measured at 150% per year. In Kenya now, right now, the staff are gone. Now, you can imagine, in the zoo, people are talking about pension. People go to collect their pension, they die. In Ghana, the same issue. In Kenya, the same issue. In Zimbabwe, the same issue. Everywhere in Africa, people are not receiving their pay. Why would people work and get to the point of pension and they're not getting their money? Why is this a common factor? Let me call it lowest common, let me call it lowest common multiple, LCM, as we do in primary school. or highest common factor. That means the factor that is prevalent, that thing that is, you can see it common. Okay, French money is euro, right? Okay, French money. No, that is their European. The Europe, every European under the European Union, they use the euro, right? But their particular money, French, their particular money, what is it called? Can you imagine? I can't even remember that one. I don't know. Have they changed it to euro? Because every European Union member uses the euro as their collective or their common currency. You know, they do. So please find out from me and let's get it, or anybody who knows it. Now, why is it that in Africa people find it hard to pay salaries, but yet those people in politics are making so much? They are making so much. They're stealing. They keep stealing. They keep stealing. They keep borrowing. When they borrow, you are not saying nobody's paying salary. They keep borrowing. They're not paying salary. They keep borrowing. The money is collected. You don't know where the money goes, yet they can't pay salary. What is wrong? Ask yourself that common question. And Blessing Chukwu said, no, I don't understand what you mean by no. Is it that no, that euro is not, or they don't have any other currency but the euro? Please make me understand what you mean, Blessing Chukwu. Make me understand, please, so that we can actually deal on this matter. Now they are talking about, they are talking about, climate, the conference to be held in Egypt tomorrow on climate issues and all of that. And John Kerry, the United States envoy, is actually saying that rich countries should, yes, they are using euro. Okay, so that's their official currency in France, right? The official currency is euro, right? Am I correct? Official currency is euro. Okay, it is do. Please, others, you can make it confirm to me so that we can know the official currency. Official, not talking about the euro being used the whole of the European Union. So their official currency is euro. Is that what it is? I don't know why I don't know this one. This one come hard me like this. Okay, the official currency is euro. Okay, only euro. Okay. Blessing Chukwu also says only euro. Okay. Now, but you can imagine that euro controls the resources. I mean, the economy of Africa. Pound controls the economy of Africa. Uche Leka. Because I know France have their own official currency. Uche says it's Francais or something like that. I think, or France FA. I know CFA franc is for all these European, all these francophone nations, those ones that were colonized by French. We have the CFA francs and CFA currency and all of that. You know, it's for those ones who are, you know. And if please look at it physically, do you know that the currency, the currency exchange rate of these francophone nations is somehow stable compared to the currency exchange rate of those nations using the dollar? In Africa, I'm talking about Africa. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Onyinye Floxy. Good to have you today. I didn't see you yesterday. Good to have you. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining, Onyinye. Thank you so much. I'm delighted. Good afternoon to you too also. Now, can somebody tell me? Okay, so that was before they were using the franc. Okay, now they're using euro as official. Okay, as the official currency. Okay, that's good. That's good. Margaret Jogwa is here. Wow. You said, good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. Just joining. All the same, good. Thank you so much, Margaret Jogwa. I know whenever you are here, you will always send a message. So I was expecting it's quite all right and good to see you here. And okay, on your Fluxy, you say you're good. Ejabasi, Agbasi, Catherine, Catherine. Good afternoon, Mazi Kelechi. I hail you. Thank you so much, Ejabasi, Catherine. Thank you so much. I hail you too from here. Somebody saying on your Blessing Chiku says it was this franc français was the former currency that now they have adopted the euro as their currency. So I think we should confirm because so that we can know if they have adopted the euro as the currency or euro is just part of their currency based on the fact that the European Union is actually using the euro, or they still have their own official currency as Mwapa and Mitchell is saying here. And France says that's their currency. Their currency is France Francais. So good. I'm good. Okay. On your Fluxy, thank you. Good to know you're good. So people can confirm that. Now, the Francophone nations have a stable exchange rate than the Anglophone nations, those nations that are actually using the dollar or the pound, or basically the dollars anyway. It's always the dollars. So you can imagine how we are all, even the Francophone nations, still, whatever happens to the CFA, it will tell on everybody. Why is the economy of Africa dependent on this? These are the things that are getting us pissed. How can a group of over 1 billion people or 2 billion people be so much under the subjugation of some few people? Yes, so Mrs. Adazan, this is live. We are here live. I've been looking forward to getting your message also. This is live from the studio. Biafra, please, the money is in France. It's euro. Okay, need it. Edith Nedu, thank you. You have confirmed. At least that's where you are. Edith is in that place anyways. She's in France, so she knows what she's saying. So Edith Nedu is actually in France, of course. I'm sorry if I did. I'm not supposed to mention where you're from. You know, sometimes it's but I know nobody can do you anything, so don't worry. And thank you so much, Mrs. Adazan. Good afternoon, ma'am. You're good. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Ndewo. Thank you, and you too. So now you can imagine that we are under the spell of these people. You can imagine how many we are in Africa, the biggest continent, if I may say, because we're large. They actually stole from us, and they are making us look like we're small. Yet we are under, and we have everything it takes, and yet they are putting us under them. We are under them. Onyeka Chiko says, okay, best candidate to be influenced as leaders in most African countries by the West neo-colonial imperialists are those gross, inconvenient, and men of questionable characters whom they can easily manipulate. Of course, you know that the greed of an average person makes them possible candidates for betrayal, sabotaging, and for devious, diabolic activities. When people actually or when people have this form of questionable attitude and character, yes, I understand incompetent. Yes, I understand what you're saying there. You know, when people have this, when people are not well trained, when people are, have this, have this ill manner, or all of that, when people actually have these faults in them, and these faults that they are not willing to control, that overwhelms them, overwhelms their emotion, even overrides their reasoning, they become easy stooges or easy instruments in the hands of evil people whose debilitating attitude also are equal to the people they use. So when we talk about leadership in Africa, leadership is in the wrong direction, because the target is to see and capture the people who actually have the wrong mindset, using them as means of subjugating, attacking, and keeping the people low. Keeping the people low. Now, I was trying to say something about the summit that's going on, that's going to be holding tomorrow in Egypt. Now, we heard John Kerry coming to say that, this is their pride and this is their ego. They say, well, we don't blame them, as I told you yesterday. We don't blame them, because the truth about it is that, as they said, we are shithole. Definitely we are, because we have refused to bring ourselves out. So we accept we are shitholes. But what we are doing here, right here, just like what I'm doing and every other person is doing in the autopilot, and of course what Mazi Simon is doing and what Mazi Nabikano brought all of us together to do, is to make sure that we get ourselves out of that shithole. We are not disputing the fact that we are shithole, because we are. But what we are doing right now, as Mazin Nabikano has given us the platform to do collectively, is that we want to get ourselves out of the shithole. What is shithole? The grip of the West, as they are called, even if you call, they always use the word West to look like positive. The grip of the East, the grip of the European nations, the grip of colonialism, the grip of subjugation using proxies like the Fulanis. All of these are the shit hole they have made us. So we are in the shithole, and we need to get out of the shithole, because we must recognize and identify where we are for us to talk about being liberated from something. You can't tell me that you are free when you are bound. And if you don't recognize the fact that you are bound, you are still going to remain bound, except you tell yourself, I am in shithole, so I need to come out of shithole. The reason why most people who are actually going after, who are actually fighting their own freedom, is because they feel they are not in shithole. They feel comfortable. Benjamin Uche, good afternoon, Mazi. Thank you, Benjamin Uche. I'm just seeing your message. Benjamin Uche, thank you. I think this the first time I'm seeing your message, Benjamin Uche. Thank you so much. Munyechi Flossie says exactly yes. You don't expect me to actually think of coming out of a thing when I don't believe I'm inside of the thing. How do I talk about coming out of a place or freeing myself when I have not recognized or identified the fact that I am bound? The reason why we are talking about freedom now is because we know we are not free. The reason why we're talking about liberation now is because we know we are not liberated. So when people say you are not free or you are in bondage, why get angry when they say you are in bondage? We are saying freedom because what we know is that we are not free. We are clamoring, we want to be free because we know we are not free. Another way to say that you are not free is to say you are in shithole. You are a shithole. So whatever the word they use, they're actually telling you what you are and where you are. Whether Trump says shithole, or whether the Frenchman in the MP, who have been, they said they have suspended him now for saying to that man, go back to Africa. I don't know why they have to suspend him. Anyway, they have to just do some religious activities to make the world look like they are doing some stuff. They are sympathetic to Africans, and all of that. Now, the reason why they do all of that is because they want to make it look good. They want to make you feel good. They don't want you to recognize you are in shithole. You are in shithole. You are messed up. The uproar came all the nation. The president of France and all of that. They were saying, why would that man say such thing? They want to make you comfortable in that shithole. They don't want people's voices like that man who said go back to Africa to be loud enough, so that you will not see it as a means of deciding to leave, so that you will be comfortable where you are and they will keep keeping you low. Now, if these people are true, if these foreign nations are very concerned about you and feel good about you, why do they keep dominating your nation? Yet when they talk about it the way it is, they tell you it's racism. What is more racist than somebody keeping you in slavery and yet don't want people to talk about it? They don't want to use words, that will make you remember that you're a slave. So the man comes to, on the parliament in the French, and one of the MPs come in the, on the parliament, yesterday or 2 days ago, and says that, talks to an African who is in the parliament, tells him, who is talking about immigration, tells him, go back to Africa. He's suspended. Do you know why he's suspended? He's not suspended to actually make you feel like you are not. You should not recognize the fact of who you are. They are suspending him so that you will still feel comfortable in your situation, and they'll keep robbing you of what belongs to you. So don't see the suspension as a good one. Yes, that's good. They have suspended him. No, because they want to make you feel comfortable. Do you know one big thing that can happen to anybody is to actually be in a situation, in a situation where you are being taken for granted, and yet it's just like that. What do they call that? Is it Ashin or what? Asin or whatever that rat that is called. That rat that will be eating your leg at night, and you'll be feeling breeze. You'll not feel any pain. It is in the morning now you see blood or something. You see what the West is doing. They are stealing our resources. They are taking what belongs to us. Their man comes to say to us, you are a shithole. They are angry. Don't tell them they are shitholes. Who told you they are shitholes? They want us to feel okay, comfortable. Every one of us, all over the nations of the world, where we are doing our slavery work, where we are working as slaves, everywhere they want you to feel comfortable. Keep doing the work because you are a slave. As we take your resources, you here now in our nations, you are utilizing your energy and everything to, we're enslaving you and sapping your energy, and you are working for us. Even when you get to the point of retirement, they are not retiring you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Exactly. Well said. Margaret Jogwe. Thank you so much. It's another one. Let me read that. French subjugation of the so-called Francophone African countries is the worst, treated worse than slaves. Listen to Dr. Arikano, a beautiful daughter of Africa, who says it as it is. That we know that the French are brutal. We know their brutality. Now, but you see, in spite of the fact that they are so brutal and committing atrocities in Africa, you can remember what they are doing. They did in Mali, that the Malians are rising up and all of that. And all over Africa, what they are doing. You can imagine what these people are doing in Africa. Yet, somebody comes to say, go back to Africa. They are suspending him. Why? Because they don't want the people who are suffering, the people who are subjugated, the people who are they're actually dealing with, the people who they are actually, committing all the crimes against, that is the Africans. They don't want them to feel bad. They want them to still remain comfortable in the midst of the fact that they are robbing them. So when somebody says something that will reveal the content of what they are doing against Africa and make the Africans understand the position, they are or they occupy in the minds of these colonialists, they want to punish that person for actually saying the truth to the people who are being punished. Because they know that when you keep hearing the truth, one day you will say, no, this is enough. One day you will say, no, I have to be free. I have to get out of this situation. One day you say to yourself, oh, no, I have to get out of this situation. They don't want us to understand that we are actually down and out. They want us to feel good. And so when somebody comes, when Trump comes to say that, when Trump comes to say Africa is a shithole, they're a shithole, they say, no, don't say that. But they're actually treating you as shithole. Their actions is against you as shithole. But yet they don't want to say it because they don't want you to hear it. Because they know faith comes by hearing. So what you hear prompts something inside of you. So they want to make you feel comfortable. Don't let them hear it, but just take action on them and treat them that way. But don't let them hear it like you say that is what you are doing. Don't let them feel that is what you're doing, but just don't let them hear it. Don't say it to their hearing that is what you feel and that is what you're doing to them. Don't say it to them so that they don't feel that way, but just do to them what you have to do to them. Take the action to them. When Moses came to Pharaoh and said, let my people go, Pharaoh was subjugating the people were suffering, but they were just enduring their suffering. But when Moses started telling them that you are suffering, when Moses started saying it to Pharaoh, they are suffering, and letting the people saying to the people, you are suffering, that is when Pharaoh got angry. Because saying it to the hearing of people will go into their mind realm. It's spiritual. It will go into their mind realm and spring up something. Somehow it gets into their spirit realm where the seat of knowledge, so that their mindset, the realm of their soul realm, where the seat of feeling is, will begin to have that feeling of pain and feeling of dissatisfaction, feeling of, this time around you're feeling very, very, very uncomfortable about the situation. And then you now begin to think of taking an action physically to free yourself. They are him to open his eyes. Blessing Chuku, please, you can send another message to make me understand what you're trying to say here. No, we're doing some deep thinking here. Aubrey's dishes, Shabbat Shalom, Kelechi, and everyone. Thank you so much. Aubrey's, the same Shabbat Shalom you sent last week. I still remember. Thank you so much. It is Shabbat, it is Shabbat. So you see it. That is why they suspended the man. They don't want us to actually put it to heart. They don't want us to feel bad about it. The man said, go back to Africa. We are comfortable with that. Let him say it so that it will still keep ringing in our minds, in our brains. We'll keep hearing it, go back to Africa, go back to that means, oh my God, that means we need to do something about our situation. Let him say it. Now, John Kerry, the US envoy, who is going to be in the summit, of course, I don't know whether he's there now, in Egypt tomorrow, whether he has traveled there or he's on his way. He's saying that rich countries need to give Africans some money to, to try to get themselves to the point of overcoming so much reliance, the factor of relying so much on fossil fuel, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that, and all of that. They take actions that subdue us and keep us down. They make sure that we struggle. They fund wars. They fund everything to make us struggle. And then yet still they want to, of course, yet still is tautology anyways. I say still yet is tautology, but I'm just using it because I'm just speaking. Still yet still. We tautology is allowed because you have to say, this is circumlocution of words, circumlocution of words. Just keep circumlocuting, and all of us the superfluous of speech. You just keep saying so many things, and you have to say it, just to keep make sure that you are talking, And also, yet they still are telling us that now they have to give us from what they have stolen from us, from what they have stolen from Africa. He's now telling the world, you have stolen enough. Just bring some of what you have stolen. Just give them. Let them see how they're going to overcome the factor of total reliance on fossil fuel. Africa needs to be helped because they are the ones bearing the grunt. They are the ones suffering because we're actually the ones punishing them. So let's give them something. Now, one mystery about Africa and those people who call themselves rulers, those people who impose themselves on the people in different ways. I don't know if they think at all, because when you look at the circumstance, global business structure, the structure of business or the structural operation of global economy, you can imagine that Africa is always at the receiving end. A friend of mine in Nigeria got mad at me for telling him that voting the London boy, Biafra killer Obi, is uncivilized. You see, that is why they would not think of change, because anybody you tell the reality and they get offended, just know that that person can never reason well. They will just observe them. They will never, anything that has to do with, unless they find themselves in the situation where Biafra now comes, they are into it. And they will now say, okay, yeah, we have got Biafra. But to tell them to support Biafra, they will never. They will always support that thing that is killing them. Anybody you see not wanting to accept the fact of where they are, they always indirectly embrace what is haunting them and what is dealing with them. For instance, when you go to these churches where anytime any little thing they want to say, they say to you, or these social gatherings, I call them social gatherings, or ministries, where any little they will say, if they don't have 10 kobo in their pockets, for those in the zoo, kobo. So let's use kobo because we were all trapped in that zoo. So let's use kobo. They don't have 10 kobo in their purse or whatever, but they will tell you, I am rich. You ask them, so what's going on? I'm rich. Oh. Now you discover that most of them actually feel comfortable and contented with the fact that even in their situation, they know there is a hope somewhere, and they don't always want to do something to actually bring themselves, to the point of realization, so that they can deal with the problems. You will discover that they are always, most times, at least in about 85% of the times, always comfortable with their situation, that they don't take drastic actions to get themselves out of that situation. Check it out. Check out. They feel comfortable. Yes, I'm not saying they don't. Sometimes they don't think of doing something, of course, but you just discover that from their way, their body language, their way of action, their way of behavior, their mannerism, and everything, always puts them in a position where, in spite of the fact that things are not working, they are not too much challenged or propelled, because they have this mentality of this religious religious jingoistic mindset, that puts them in a position where they feel okay, even if the thing they are doing now is not working the way they want. They always have a faith somewhere. They don't even think constructive. Why is this not working? They always believe that it is not yet God's time. Princess E, Princess, you're welcome. Good PM from here. You're always making sense, my brother. Thank you so much, Princess. Princess E, good to have you again. Even if I didn't see you yesterday, but I'm happy that you're here today. No true-blooded son or daughter of Biafra soil would want to be consulted before joining the agitation for freedom that will benefit them most. You have just made it very clear. But the truth about it is that we still have full-blooded sons of and daughters of Biafra that still need you to consult them to actually fight for their own freedom. They're everywhere. You know why? You know why? They have been battered. They have been disrupted on their mind realm. They have been subjugated. They have been destroyed. They have been redesigned, reconfigured in the realm of the mind by the dictates, the religious, cultural designs of the colonial program. It has so much eaten deep into the fabric of their personality that they have lost personality order. They have come to the point of personality disorder and a critical state of distorted mind or mental faculty, mental thinking, mental disposition, mental and constructive reasoning. They have lost it on all sides to the point that they now reason with their emotion rather than with their senses. So even if they are full-blooded Biafrans, because of the situation they found themselves that have hijacked the sphere of their personality, so that their personality have been subjected to their emotional disposition based on the circumstances around them, they are now behaving and have lost touch with their natural self. So they no more behave like full-blooded Biafrans, who they should be. They have lost touch with their natural self. They have lost touch with reality, and they live in the mirage and the hallucination of that mirage. I don't know whether I've made that point to you. Okay, Blessing Opoku says something. Let me read what Blessing Opoku says. Thank you and your autopilot team for your steadfast. Thank you so much, Blessing. Good to have you here. You know, today's interaction, we're interacting. So I keep looking at your messages, and at the same time, we begin to talk about other things. Margaret Jogwe, yes, even when they give them money, it shall still be handed in hands of the corrupt politicians. So that makes no meaning. So me, that makes no meaning. What we want is Biafra. On nation freedom. Yes, I think this point you're making right now, I was actually trying to say more things on it. Yes, even when they are giving them some money, it will still be handed in hands of the corrupt politicians. Yes, that is why they keep owing salaries, they keep owing everybody, because the money that is being given to them will still be stolen by them and used for their selfish purposes. So it is just crazy, because it is, you see, this thing is terrible. Now, I wanted to actually analyze how the economy of the world has, placed Africa's economy at the receiving end, so that the Africa mentality and the Africa economic procedure and strategic operation is now programmed in a way that it runs at a loss at all times. So even when crude oil is being sold, what happens is that these same monies go to the colonial masters, and then the rest goes to their stooges and their proxies, who are their stooges being used by them to actually make the people to continue to be under bondage. I'm going to discuss that more subsequent. I don't know whether I'll be able to discuss that more here, but because of time, we'll keep interacting. Let me just keep reading our messages, because I'm supposed to interact with us, so I don't go much preaching. But along the line, when a point comes, something comes into my head and I have to say it. God is your strength. Thank you so much, Idika Achoro. Thank you so much, Idika Achoro. Let me read Uwa Junior. Uwa Junior saying something. Uwa Junior says, Mazi, you are wonderful. You are wonderful made in your analysis. Thank you so much, Uwa Junior. Thank you for that compliment. I'm delighted to get that from you. I'm happy. Lola the lady is here. Wow, Lola the lady. Mrs. Adazayan says, what an insult. When will this Africa beggar mentality end? You can imagine John Kerry. It's an insult. People would say, wow, good, America is doing great. But it's an insult. Our people love this kind of insult, where you don't actually insult them, in the way it sounds like an insult. They like indirect insult. We know Africa is suffering. We need to actually give them. We're going to be looking for, well, there's flood in Anambra and other parts of Biafra land. We are going to be giving them 2 million. You heard that American, that woman, what's she called now? Is she called the High Commissioner of America or whatever, or the chief consulate or whatever she's called. You heard the woman, the way she was talking arrogantly and all of that. America, we're giving them $2 million and to see that they take care of the flood and everything and all of that insult. And you see how people are be too happy. Wow, America is giving us $2 million. Whereas that is even the worst insult. It is better they call you shithole so that you go back and generate that money yourself. Do you know we have the resources to actually even take care of those people? People don't understand what Africa has. We have so much that we can even take care of them. Do you know that we're even the ones taking care of them? Our people don't understand this. But this time around, we're taking care of them by them taking it by force from us. We're not taking care of them by the fact that we actually structured ourselves to take care of them. We are taking care of them by them structuring the whole system to actually take what belongs to us by force, by stealing from us. So we are taking from them, we are taking care of them through our stupidity rather than through a constructive business template that actually favors the interest of both parties. Oh my God. People need to wake up. Let me read it. Let me continue. Where does the world's wealth come from? Africa. The wealth comes from Africa. The wealth comes from us. The wealth comes from us. And yet they are telling us they are doing us a favor by giving us stipends. Yet African leaders are glad to go cap in hand begging USA, Europe, and Japan. Oh my God. You see, there's some things that makes me so mad that there's nothing you can tell me that will make me leave this freedom. There's no amount you can give me, because I know that what I'm able to generate, what I can generate for my generation to come, is in me and is in Africa. So what make me now not think of the sovereignty of Africa so that we can maximize the opportunity to get the things we need to get? We need to get to this point. These people who are selling, who go around looking for, people go 40 million, 20 million, like Master Simon said, as low as 2 million, they are selling the freedom. In our midst, some of them are full-blooded Biafrans, as I was telling them, my brother, Onyekachiku Eke. Some of them are full-blooded Biafrans, but because they have been destabilized, decapitated in the realm of their thinking, reasoning, so that they now reason with their emotions rather than reasoning with their senses. Because when you reason with your emotion, it is your circumstance that determines what you do. In the realm of emotional reasoning, you operate based on what you feel. That means when you are hungry, you can do anything to get the food to eat. Anything illegal, you can sleep with dog. You can they can contract you to be a dog for their political ambition. You just want to do anything to feel. You reason with your emotion rather than your senses. Our people are selling their freedom that will give them opportunity to make more than what they are being given, the stipends they are being given. The same Westerners, the same Easterners, the same Asians, the same Europeans, and all of these people are actually giving us stipends from the things they stupidly collected from us in our stupidity. They make us stupid, take these things from us, then they now come to tell us that they're giving us something. Oh my God. Lord of the Lady, Newo Mazi, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Evermat. I have to preach this thing. Even if today it's not supposed to be for preaching. But I know I'm being pushed to go into the preaching thing. Because it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming. I don't know if you people are seeing what I'm saying. You can imagine how gifted we are as a people. You can imagine what we carry as a people. You can imagine how intelligent we are as a people. When you hear Floxy, no going back, our freedom is inevitable. They must understand it by force. What is the code? Thank you so much, when you hear Floxy. They must, unless if you are telling me that you watching don't have what it takes to manage the resources God have given to us in Africa. Unless you are telling me that you watching, you don't have what it takes inside of you to make out the best you can make out on this planet Earth. Especially going by what has been given to us. How do you pay me with my money? That is what we're saying. Eva Mats, thank you so much. You have made another vital point here. How do you pay me? No, it's not even paid. They're not even paying us. It is now, they are now saying that it's charity. They are doing. How do you favor me with my own money? That's what you should say. How do you favor me? You steal from me, you make it look like a favor. You bring all the junks and make me a shithole by make me a shit and the shithole by sending every used thing. After you use your phones, you send it to me. After you use your pot, you send it to me. After you use your stove, you send it to me. After you use gas cylinder, you send it to me. After you use toothpick, you send it to me. After you use spoon, you send it to me. After you use Pampers, you wash it and send to me. After you use baby cloth, and after you use your cloth and you use it and use it and use it, and all the dirt and all the smelly things from your body, you pour chemical on it, you send them to me. After your children poo on clothes and all of that, you wash it and you send them to me. I become the shithole. You are sending everything that you took from me by force. You use them up and then you send them back to me. I begin to use them and I use those stuff. And then after you have taken, because when I get those things from you, I still get them, I pay for them, and you take the money. And after you take the money, you now come from what you have stolen from me, both the ones you stole from me by buying from what you have stolen from me, and then also by giving you by allowing you to steal from me, and then buying from you again of what you stole from me, and then I use my money to do that. And after you do that, you now come and say, I'm giving you this as gift. Oh my God. Oh my God. The madness is unimaginable. The madness is unimaginable. Eze, you're welcome. Azikelechi, well done, well doing, bro. Yesterday I really want to ask question, but no time. Let me keep listening. If your teaching today will connect. All right, no problems, my brother. But you can ask. The madness is unimaginable. It's like sometimes when I imagine this and I say, is it that our people are under a spell? But the truth about it is that it is actually a spell if it is breakable. It is the spell that people have allowed. We are all going through the same situation in Africa. We all are going through the same situation in Africa. But is it all of us that are running mad? No, because some of us allowed the situation to overwhelm our disposition. We allowed the situation to overwhelm our personalities. We see the situation above what we carry and our capability to actually deal with situations. In fact, most of us have come to the point where situations are now more important and more feasible, more substantial than what we carry. That means you see yourself less and see every situation as more, and you see every situation as overriding and as more significant than everything that you represent. So you adjudge first the situation to determine your personality. That means if you want to give an interpretation at every point in time of who you are, you stoop low to view it in the eyes of what you are going through or the circumstances around you. So when you view it in the eyes of circumstances around you, you determine how you define you in the context of that circumstance. And then you treat you in the light of what you feel from that definition. I don't know whether people understand, whether you guys are understanding what I'm saying. Because the truth about it is that in Africa or in Biafra, because because my concern is not just only Biafra, because we are the main people God have set. We are the Jews. God has set us to liberate this continent. Remember, the first time God set the Jews to liberate Africa and to make Africa the dominant power was in Egypt. Sorry about that. The first time God did that, he sent us into Egypt so that we can influence Africa as the ones he has positioned to actually be the source of universal strength, economic value, and political control, which the nation of Israel will still be. Remember, Jesus said it, Isaiah said it in Isaiah chapter 9. He said, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. Unto us a son is born, unto us a son is given, the government shall be upon his shoulder. So now, which means he's going to have the political control of the world. God now puts us in Africa so that we can help the Egyptian empire grow. And then through that means, God, because the resources that God has put in Africa, we're supposed to feed the world with. So God gave that political power to Pharaoh through that economic value he gave to Egypt through us, the Jews, which Israel is, of course, we are one. Of course, we were part of those. And when God went to Egypt with his father Jacob, so we were all there in Egypt. But a time came when Egypt began to abuse that opportunity. God and God, even before Egypt started abusing that opportunity, do you know what God did? God prompted in the heart of Eri, one of the children of God, to move somewhere else in Africa so that they can be a representation of God's power in Africa, as much as he wants to take Israel back to Canaan. So our people now, Eri, now moves with his brothers and other people. They come towards this place, being led by God, by their steps were ordered, and they came to West Africa, towards the east of the Atlantic, where God had deposited so much that they would make to influence the whole of Africa. Because God wants his influence and power to control. When God wants to control and utilize or exude his power, he puts a people and designs them as the tool to express such kind of mandate and focus of the mission of his purpose. So God moves us to West Africa, the eastern side, and puts us by the Atlantic Ocean. From here, we are supposed to be a blessing all through Africa, since Egypt was going to miss it. We are still going to influence the whole of Africa to be productive. And then God moves Israel back to Canaan, takes over the land and takes over that land and makes them the power from that source to take over and to satisfy other regions of the earth, as much as we from here will be satisfying the earth, other regions from the earth from this point. So from these two bays, which the Lord has given to us as our land, we are supposed to reach out to the world through Africa and teach Africa how to stabilize, how to plan, how to manage, and how to express what God has given to us, so that the world will be a better place. Mrs. Adazan says that is why they never want Africans to have good leaders. They assassinate or remove by coup whoever rises and decides to give his or her people good leadership. Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, even Kwame Nkrumah. These are people, some of them killed because they want you to continue to allow them to steal. Thank you so much, Mr. Dajan, for that. That is the truth. Aubrey's dishes, it's not a spell, I think. It's long time brainwashing and needed a brain reset. That's what there are different kinds of spell, because when your brain is overwashed, the spell must not be a juju or must not be juju context. That's why I said it's also a spell, because when you are subjected to a pattern or a pattern of reasoning, or you are battered by a situation at a particular time in a particular way for a long time, you discover something. You discover that it begins to reset or regulate your mindset towards a kind of way of reasoning or behavior. And then it becomes predominantly an influence over you. That influence is that spell we're talking about. Because spell is about influence. So my words can be spell to somebody. It's just like when you are training the child, you begin to tell the child some stuff from as they grow up. The Bible says train up a child in the way they should go, and when they grow up, and when they are old, they will not depart from it, because you influence them and it becomes a spell. And so most of the things I'm doing today is because I had an influence from parents. So that influence informed my behavior. So sometimes when I want to do something out of that, I think about it. That is the spell we're talking about. So it keeps me in check along the borders or in the box where I have been caged by that influence. So everything I do is influenced by that mindset and that design that was put around me to keep me in that perspective. So you understand it right now. So the spell here is actually the context of the influence rather than juju. Well, you can also say it's juju, because whatever we do that influences somebody is juju. These things are funny, but that's the truth. Which way? How do we go? Especially those people who have allowed themselves to become a stooge, to sell the freedom. We need to get up. You can imagine John Kerry. We want Africa, we see we have to allow Africa. Africa should, of course, overcome this and so much reliance on fossil fuel. They determine for us when and how we should be, and what we should do, and how we should do them, and when it should be done, and how the resources should come for these things to be done. They are not telling us that he didn't come to say, Africa, you have so much resources within you. Now let's see how we're going to do business so that you can make more on your own, so that you can take care of the issue of so much reliance on fossil fuel. No, he said no. He didn't say that. He said the rich countries, that means automatically he says you have everything but you are poor. The rich countries should begin to think of how they are going to begin to give Africa some stuff to help them to come out of the so much reliance on fossil fuel. What is more insulting than this? But some other people who don't think constructively will say that calling me a shithole is the insult. But those who think constructively will look at this statement of John Kerry and we see the faculty of insult, the massiveness of the insult, and the complexity of the insult. And then they will now begin to work on it as they should work on it. This is what we're saying. This is what we're saying. About Gidi, Masikalicha, I salute you. Remain blessed. God will guide you always. We move. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for joining. Know that I always watch out for some messages like that. Some people I just, because you are consistent here, so I always see your messages. Once I see it, I say, wow, thank you for doing it. And I want to thank everyone who's watching too. Everybody, in fact, I'm not talking about just those who are sending messages. You that is watching, in fact, for the fact that you're watching alone means that you believe in the truth and you want the truth to be said and you actually want to depend on the truth for what you are doing. So it's fantastic. But I want you to understand this. We must come all out this time around. We must not take nonsense. All this nonsense going on, we must. I don't want to believe that anybody who is watching me or anybody who is going to watch me after now would want to see this generation end. And with our stupidity, we allow the next generation come to start fighting the same thing we should have fought and giving them and putting their hands to run with. I don't want to believe that you, let me bring it down. Let me narrow it down now. I don't want to believe that you as a woman or as a man you are intending to have a family or get children, raise children, and you are intending your children to go through hell because you didn't succeed. I don't want to believe that you actually wish your children to go through what you go through and to make the mistakes that you make. Or you actually wish that your children will come on and the battles that you should have fought and won for them, you actually want them to come into it to win that battle for themselves. We're conditioned to believe that we must bear foreign names in order to be accepted. This is one basic thing that I have said I'm going to be discussing on this platform, this issue of foreign names. Now, I'm going to come to the point where I'm going to try to make our people understand the criticalness of names, including me. My surname now is Ambrose. My name was Harry. I was given the name Harry. And when I was given that name, I decided to change that name because I was given Kelechi too. I decided to change that name to bear Kelechi rather than Harry. Because they wanted me to feel like the foreign name makes me better. And that was the mindset. Now, I'm not going to talk about name because if you take, I will take another 3 hours to talk about this. Mr. Adazan has just brought another talking to me. Because I want to talk about the criticalness of names and how it influenced our people to accept to be slaves. Do you know people fight you for this? When it comes to our people, they talk about baptismal names. Do you know they fight you for this? They can fight you to say, don't call me, no, call me, this is my baptismal name. They believe more in that name that the Catholic Church gave them as baptismal name than the name their parents give them, which is the local name. Oh my God. Please, man, don't push me into teaching this matter because I don't want to talk about it here. I rejected that. All my 6 children have Igbo names only. I rejected my own foreign name 4 years ago. Stupidity. That's it. And of course, you can see it here that you actually rejected all those foreign names. Mrs. Adazan is a comma. Now, people see, there's so much to know, to do, for us to actually get ourselves out of the grip of these wicked vampires that have eaten over Africa. There's so much we need to do to get ourselves out of the grip of Western domination, Western subjugation. There's so much to do. I am telling you, and on this platform, we'll keep teaching it. That is why I want you people to please like the video, always like our video and spread them. We need to send this message. Most of you who live abroad, you have the contact of most people around there, even in the villages, in your village, because you are the eye, the link to your village. Send the message to them. Tell them to watch this and listen. Get somebody who can interpret in the language for them. We need to spread, we need to change the mindset of our people. If we don't change the mindset, we are going to struggle for a long time to develop. I am telling you the truth. I thank God for this our generation. God will help us to open the eyes. He said, thank you so much. That's the truth. And the only way God will help us to open the eyes is to send this kind of messages to them. Tell them to subscribe to this channel so that they can receive information. You also subscribe. Share the video on all your platforms. Like the video. These are the ways you send the message. As much as you are telling them, when they hear also from platforms like this, they will begin to understand the depth of what you are doing. They will now understand that this is a serious problem, because the Bible says faith comes by hearing. Not just one hearing, and hearing. Because you keep hearing and hearing, and that hearing must be rooted in the word of God, which actually is the basis of the faith. Because it is through the word of God that faith comes. And these things we are teaching here, that is why we call this place the hallowed platform of God, the place we worship. That is why Mazina began to call Radio Biafra a place of worship, which has been corrupted and desecrated now, and which when he returns, everything will be normalized. So in this platform also, what we are doing here is that we are worshiping, because when truth is being spoken, it is an act of worship. It is not when you stand up and say, let's say praise and worship. I've told you about this before. That's the worship. It's not when you bow down and you know, that's not worship. Worship is action, living action, actions you carry out daily in your life, comprises with either the kingdom of darkness or the kingdom of light. Now remember, we have the kingdom of darkness, we have the kingdom of light. Light is white, darkness is black. So when they call you a black man, know that they call you somebody of the darkness. When they call you a white man, know that they call you somebody of the light. That is what they are using to subjugate us. These are the things we must speak and preach. Do you know that this morning when I woke up from time I was listening to BBC and all those news, CNN and all of that till now, I heard black, white, black, white, black, white. Every day I hear it every day. It is always mentioned black, white, black, white, black, white. They have caused a divide. We will fight until they surround for us, no going back. Just surrender. You're trying to say they surrender, right? Oh, British dishes. It's not juju, African terminology. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me see this message. We are sharing watching it. Thank you so much. Kadibia. Thank you so much. Please, let's keep sharing. It is important. This is the only thing that we can do. Obviously, God forbid to fear. Now, see, you see this issue of names and this issue of black, white, where they call it the blacks, the whites, the blacks and whites. The Bible calls us kingdom of darkness and kingdom of light. Light and darkness cannot work together. See, these things are critical. We see, oh God will help me, because I know God is putting all these things in my heart to talk about. On this platform, we're going to be talking about so many things. That is why you see that most of my broadcasts and the things I do, I don't come to analyze issues that are going on around. When I point them out, I use them as a basis of teaching what should happen, what we should do. I don't rely on talking about how many times do you see me come here to talk about Peter Obi. He is not important. By the time I educate Biafrans, they themselves will reject him. By the time Biafrans become educated, you don't need to tell them. They will tell Peter Obi, you don't belong to us. They would put him where he belongs. I don't need to come start telling you that Peter Obi is this, he is this, he is that. I don't need to tell you that. All I need to do is to teach you some information, give you some information, and teach you some details, detailed spiritual details that will help you recover from that insanity. You know, when you say insanity, some people say he has insulted us. Insanity simply means it's not when insanity simply means when something, doing something that is that's not insane, it's not madness. Including me, sometimes there are some insane things I do. So that's insanity at that level. Of course, we have different levels of insanity anyways. So the insanity that have taken over people who are going after, the insanity will be cured by teaching them, not destroying Obi to them. That's why most times I don't preach people. I can point out what people have done and use it as a means of teaching, but I don't come and tell you Obi is this. I don't need all of that. I teach you using his house. And that is what we want to do. That is what we want to achieve. That is what we're going to achieve. Together, we're going to achieve this. And I want to tell you people, we're going to achieve this. Today is not a conference. We have interacted, we have talked from your point, from the things that you have submitted. We have been able to get on this. Today we don't have a particular topic. We just talk on so many things. We look at so many things and we talk about them because we're interacting. So as the points come, we talk about them. And also we look at the news of making rounds during the week and all of that. We look at all of these things. And when we have a veteran to interview, if you have a veteran that you want to be interviewed, somebody who was in the time of the war and who is interested to talk to Biafrans, you can talk to me. You can send me a message. You can, of course, the number is always here. Let's put the number on screen so you can have it. This is the number 0 +212 707 898 194. If you have a veteran that you think that he has been in the war or she has been in the war, she was there and she has something to tell us and to talk to us and to teach us about, you can now send them over. You can talk to them. They can join us, and then we'll be able to now discuss and get their views, get things from them, learn from them, and all of that. And it becomes a platform of getting an opportunity to tap into their wealth of wisdom and experiences so that it can inform us to actually work and do things right and become wise in the things we do. So this is the number +212-707-898-194. Very simple to recite. +212-707-898-194. +212-707-898-194. +212-707-898-194. You send it to them, let them get on. By next Saturday, we want to have a veteran. I'm making arrangement for one anyways, but if you have also, you can send to us, and so that we can put them on the line too. We can have them, we can even have two, coming on. You can even feature two people, that day. Every Saturday, we're going to be having them. 1 p.m. every time, we're going to have veterans, talking with veterans and discussing critical issues that concerns us all. Because it's important for us to hear from people who were there. Because we're in the same situation that we're in. And so, but us, this time around, we're talking about total freedom. Of course, they were talking about total freedom, even if it started with a restructuring, which also in our time also started with restructuring. So if you have a veteran, somebody that actually was in the time of war, every Saturday we're going to feature veterans of war, and of course veterans of other sectors too, and other things, other vital things, and all that we need to talk about. But here we'll be featuring them every Saturday. Just get them to contact us, or you can send their detail. We can contact them. Basically, your teaching is good and it's making sense more than Peter Obi's stupid idea. Yes, we don't need all that. Peter Obi is not our problem. Our problem is us, and when we restore us, we will deal with them. That's it. Thank you all for being part of this broadcast. We have used them 1 hour for 35 minutes. And for those of you who didn't watch from the beginning, you can go from top. You'll get the message right and right. It's a powerful message today. The teaching is deep-seated. And one thing you should understand, that these teachings will make you too. You can apply them to your personal life and even personal business. You will discover that they begin to change things and change the narrative. We're actually carrying out a fundamental reorientation program here, because what we have are people who have experienced some stuff and who have been orientated in some matters. But now we want to reorientate, you understand? And so that's what we're doing here on this platform. And so please send it around and let people, please like the video. Don't forget to like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. Click the notification button and then share this video on all your social media platforms. I want to thank you all for being part of this. I want to say that I love you all, and I'm happy your messages, everything you do and everything you say and everything that you actually, those of you who are sending messages, those of you who talk to me, those of you who actually, you're always here judiciously spending and using your and all of that. I love you all. I'm so glad to have you all. Thank you so much, and I'm delighted to be your host on this platform, Biafra Global Network. Mine is still Kelechi Ambrose. Thank you, and I love you all, and God bless you real good. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy it real good, and do the right thing. Be safe and make sure that you don't get into trouble. Watch your back, be very sensitive and discerning of issues going around you. Thank you so much. I love you. God loves you the most, and stay blessed and enjoy the weekend. Tomorrow we're going to be here 1 p.m. We're going to be talking, we're going to be going to the back to base program, back to base, back to base, back to base, back to base. You know what it means? Going back to our foundation, our beginning. We're going to be looking at scripture. Tomorrow we've been looking at Genesis chapter 1. We said in the beginning, God. We have analyzed the beginning. Remember, we said that the beginning is not, there's no time frame to it. In the beginning, there's no time frame to it. It's not 6,000 years ago. The beginning. And then we're going to be talking about God. So tomorrow we'll be looking at God. Then we will identify who this God is and how he became our God, and how we Biafrans are actually talking. That's the God we're actually talking about. So tomorrow we're going to be looking at it, and of course critically we're going to understand that context. Now later, after that, up next week Sunday, that's not this coming Sunday, upper Sunday, that's penultimate Sunday, we're going to look at heaven and earth. Remember, I gave you an overview last week on in the beginning God created heaven and earth, and I gave you an overview, started talking about the things the Bible never said. But this time around we'll be going critically to the fundamentals. Now we're going to look at God. We have looked at in the beginning. We're going to look at God, and then to form the basis of our tomorrow, we will understand all of these things, and it will be better for us, because by the time we understand these things, when we talk anywhere, it becomes a blessing to the people. People know us, that we are knowledgeable. People know that we know what we are saying, and all of that. God bless you, Mrs. Design, and thank you so much, man. Thank you. God bless you too, man. Thank you for your contribution and your words, and always you're sending messages, and at the same time teaching the people. At the same time, I want to thank you by my brother. Thank you, Princess. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. Also, for now, we are but we're still here. Stay blessed too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You say I was still blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to thank you all for your messages. I will thank you. Let me see some other messages coming in. Okay, we have Onyechi Flux says, stay blessed too. Bless okay. Stay blessed too. So Onyechi Flux says, of bless you, bro. Thank you so much. You too. Stay safe. From Princess E, she says, stay safe and always stand for truth. Thank you so much. I will always do that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll always do that. And Mazi, we love you too. Thank you so much. Edith Nedu, I love you also. And I love you all also. Mrs. Daza says, absolute respect. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I am delighted. I'm honored. Thank you so much for your message. And I thank you all. Bless you really good. Stay safe and stay blessed.
Declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election.
Fortunately, we don't reason like that. Anybody thinking that Igbo presidency 2023 will stop us? What we want is Biafra, and what we're going to get is Biafra.
No, not at all. What should I do? It's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people. Not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory.